Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and start out here with a cast of a game between Chris and Lenny. We have Lostin, our purple Zerg, spawning over here in the 8 o'clock, and we have AgntSmashing, our yellow Protoss player, spawning down here in the 6.5 o'clock. Let's go ahead and put our little food menu on. We're going to go ahead and look at production tab. So each of them are going to go ahead and make some probes. I gotta say, with these two spots, it could be advantageous to the Zerg because he can easily expo around the top here. It could also be advantageous to maybe some Void Ray or Airplay, just because you are so close, and it is so easy for a Protoss to defend their choke here. You could have, we could easily see a Gateway go into a Starport, into a Void Ray and Phoenix play. You can lift the Queens, and then you can use the Void Rays, cause a lot of damage if you can catch the Zerg before they get to a lair. So we're going to see our Protoss player going out here with his 9 scout right after he lays his pylon at 9. The Zerg player is going to go ahead and actually pick this up with his Overlord since it is close positions. If we look at the APM, which is kind of a meaningless figure at this point, we have 74 to 37 favoring our purple Zerg. Now I'd like to look at the vision for our Protoss player. Our Protoss player decided to go to check the cross position first. That's going to be not beneficial to him. If we look at this player's vision, we can see that they already saw this Nexus. So now they're going to pull their drone back around and look in their base. So now he's going to go ahead and scout the correct position on his second try. It looks like our Zerg player is going to go ahead and go for the typical 14 extractor, 14 pool. He may even have done the pool a little bit earlier, because I would think this would be finished if he did it before his spawning pool. So it was probably a 14 pool, 14 extractor. No one's really hitting the food count right now. You guys, minerals are sort of high for this early in the game. There you go. Now you're getting the Zealot out. You're going for a 2-gate play. So we are going to see a 2-gate play, which is typical of AgntSmashing's aggressive-like play. He could easily pull one probe and knock this off. It's not going to mean that much as long as he doesn't have any actual hull damage. It's going to go ahead and heal itself. What we do know, though, is that the Zerg player here, from this, is going to know that the 2-gate is coming. So it would have perhaps been beneficial to you to not do the actual rush, since you did see that it was coming, or since the Zerg player is seeing that it's coming. It looks like the Protoss player is actually taking a semi-significant food lead at 22 to 16. Make sure you're warping in those drones. You have plenty of minerals. There you go. 2 spine crawlers this early. That seems a little early to me for spine crawlers. You did see the 2-gate play, so I suppose that is a necessary evil. Queen is about to hatch. Queen's about to pop, and that's going to definitely benefit the Zerg here, since he is going to be able to spawn larva, which is very, very significant for the Zerg in the early game. Larva should be considered itself a resource, simply because you do have a limited supply of larva, and they are very important early in the game. So we're going to see our Protoss player move out here towards our Zerg player. The Zerg player knows that it's coming already, as we saw from the scout, as we see from his well placement on these towers. He's got overlords around his base, though not over here. Again, it's only the beginning of the game. He's actually opting to throw down an evolution chamber. I may have thrown down a roach warren myself, simply because roaches are so good against these zealots, and you know that he is going into a heavy early aggressive mode. Now let's see. Our Protoss player is going to try and run around. And he is going to back out. Why is our Protoss player backing out? Why didn't our Protoss player just walk around these spine crawlers and attack the hatchery from behind? These spine crawlers would definitely have to get up and move, and he could probably beat that many Zerglings. Now he's coming back. Now our Protoss player is coming back. Our Protoss player is food blocked, which is very bad for him, as well as the Zerg player is food blocked. I definitely think that you could have capitalized on this attack a lot more. You could have easily walked around these spine crawlers. They're terribly placed. You could easily have walked around them and just attacked his hatchery. These Zerglings are going to go down. That is not enough Zerglings to stop those Zealots. He would definitely have to pull some drones, and if you do kill some drones, you're going to be further ahead here. What I would like to see now, that a lot of Protoss players is, why didn't you drop that? Why didn't you drop the pylon there? Would have been pretty easy to stop him from going ahead and expoing. Even though he's choosing to take a rather late expo, he's also food blocked again. He is building a few roaches, which is going to be insignificant at this point, simply because AgntSmashing is now getting out some stalkers, and stalkers would do fairly well against them. This it looks like he's going to go ahead and take this simply for the vision. If we look at the vision, this gives a lot of vision. There's almost no way you can sneak past as long as they have this. And it also looks like he's setting up these lings ready to either scout his opponent or go for a run by. Wow. This is going to... Oh, yeah. He's going to do a lot of damage with these Zerglings right now. If we look at, go ahead and go back to the unit counter. It's a lot of units lost. Seven probes lost this early in the game. That's significant, especially when Protoss has, for all intents and purposes, no workers on minerals except for one. The Protoss will be able to catch up simply because Chrono Boost is so good, but that's a significant amount of damage this early on. If we look at the units tab, the Zerg has double as many as the workers as the Protoss, so that's definitely going to hurt AgntSmashing's chances to win this game. AgntSmashing is going to have to push with this all-in here. If he is able to end this game with this all-in, he could still win. But basically what that has done by the Zerg is the Zerg has forced... Well, he should put these back on minerals. The Zerg has forced the Protoss player into going into an all-in stage. Unfortunately, he is not going to be able to break this many roaches. That is just far too many roaches for these Zealots to handle, especially when they're on creep. They can really just kite those Zealots around. This is a bad engagement. This is a very bad engagement for you, Chris. Even though you are behind at this point, you should have maybe backed off. You're not going to beat that many Zealots with this few Stalker and that many Zealot count. I'd say you are very far behind from losing those workers from a sneaky run by. What it is a good idea is it is a good idea to leave one Zealot here on hold position at all times. That way, if he is under attack, you do have the chance to warp in units if you do need to block. Both of you are doing pretty well on your minerals right now. These sentries are going to mean that he can't end the game with these roaches simply because he could easily force field this ramp and not allow the roaches to come up. However, again, the Protoss player is falling farther and farther behind. These spines are in a pretty good placement. He's going ahead and he's gotten his Carapace upgrade and he's getting missile tech upgrades already. He only has a layer though. When you are this far ahead, there's two things you can do when you are this far ahead as a Zerg player. You can either attack as in an all-in, as it looks like you may opt to do here, or you could expo. As you can see, it'd be very easy to expo with 600 minerals. 700 now. It'd be advantageous for you to expo. You could have dropped a force field here, and you let the Zerglings up your ramp with the force field. So I think this is going to be a good game here. Well, I can look right at this clock and tell you it's not. But, that was a little bit of missed micro there. Maybe keep chrono boosting these probes out as much as you can. Look, you have 1,000 minerals. 1,000 minerals. You should be expoing or double expoing, considering that he has only one base and very minimal army. You either need to be committing to killing him, or you need to be expoing. You have 20 drones, 12 minutes in the game as Zerg. Most Zerg players, or most good Zerg players, will tend to take their third between 9 and 12 minutes, depending on how advantageous it is to them. I'd have to say in this situation, it would have been very advantageous for you to take that early third since you destroyed his 2-gate and then destroyed a lot of his probes. As long as you deny this expo, he's not going to be able to keep up with you in drone production, and you're going to be able to overcome him in superior income. Now he's attacking with this. These roaches are going to do a decent amount of damage, but they probably won't beat this. Zerglings, which you have enough here to handle this, so this should be handled easily, and you're saving up a lot of chrono boost here, Smashing. This looks like it's going to have to be a good game. Man, this really hurts for Smashing, because what did really cost him the game is letting those Zerglings in to destroy his probes. 1,000 minerals, Zerg, you could easily have double expoed, or even taken high yield because you're against Protoss, not Terran. He's hiding in his base. You should expo and drone. You have 22 drones. He's even caught you in drones. The income is similar. Now you decide. There you go. There you go. Now you're getting a couple of drones. You still don't have a third, and you barely have any drones at your second. And you have plenty of minerals. And your army's getting defeated, sort of. Are you really going to push out here? What I would think would be the better choice would be to expo, lay some pylons and some cannons, and try to get yourself back in this game. And you honestly could have gotten back in this game simply because the Zerg player didn't drone as heavily as he should have. Oh well, maybe I lied there. He has plenty of Mutalist. Mutalists are going to do a Mutalists would be easily able to handle this. 4 Stalkers against 6 Mutalists is not going to be, or is it even more than 6? It's 7 now. And Zerglings. So we are going to see the GG come out here from the Protoss player. He's even getting an Overseer just in case you were going for some Dark Templar since you are behind. It's only a matter of time, which is all of 10 seconds until the Protoss player presumably loses this game. Unless he can pull some magic out of his ass. And there we go. So overall for that game, man, I'd almost like to see a rematch there. The problem with that is the Protoss moved out at just the wrong time and let those Zerglings that were meant to scout and see what kind of an army he has walk right into his probe line, which really hurt and put the Protoss player really far behind in that game. It was a good game from both of the players, and now we're going to go on to casting game 2.